Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to Veronica Burgess for joining us today, the actress who plays Ida in the upcoming episode of The Company You Keep, the new NBC show. Thank you so much, Veronica.
Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Tell us a bit, what's been the main element in Ida's character and the show in general that fascinates you the most and drew you to join The Company You Keep?
Well, I have always been a huge fan of Milo Ventimiglia, as I'm sure many people listening to this are. I just think he's so charismatic and he's such a great actor. And so when I got the audition from my manager, I was like, oh, this will be awesome because like I'll have scenes with him. And so I threw it down. I immediately knew, like sometimes with auditions, it's like you immediately know what you want to do. You're like, right, this is my idea. This is what I'm going to do. And other times you kind of have to take a little bit of time to figure it out. But with Ida, I knew exactly how I wanted to play it because the show is like sort of a spy drama of sorts. I was like, okay, so like everybody in this world has to have a little mystery about them. So that's what really like drew me to this character. Is like, ooh, fun. I get to play somebody with a little bit of like mystery behind her. And she's sort of like the books girl to this like underground gambling ring boss. And it was really great to work with Daniel Sunjata, who plays the underground gambling ring boss. It was really great to work with him. He's fantastic. And um, just the whole cast and crew were amazing. So yeah.
And on a personal level, is there any feature in Ida's character that you can relate to? Where are you two most similar in your opinion, and where are you two most different?
Oh, I think Ida is very smart, and I like to think that I'm very smart.
Yeah.
And so I think that I was just excited to play. A lot of the auditions and the roles that I do are like law enforcement or something in that field, which is great. Super thrilled to do all that stuff. I love those kinds of characters too. But what I really liked about Ida was that I got to play somebody that was just like, she wasn't like straight and narrow. She is kind of on the wrong side of things by being involved in something that's not on the up and up. But she's so smart about it that you would never, if you were just looking at her, you wouldn't necessarily think that. Now, I don't have that in common with her. Everything I do is on the up and up, just to be clear. But I love that, I got to play somebody that could really like, be the brains behind an
Yeah.
operation. Yeah.
And to all the people that haven't watched The Company You Keep yet, how would you describe the show if you had just like 3 words?
Super sexy fun. Um, sorry, my dog sees somebody out there. Yeah, it's just, I've been watching it because I'm like, okay, like I want to see what it's all about. And I also want to, I'm one of those people that I like to watch my work just to see, like how it comes out, and how, because what's written is always different than what's shot, is always different than what's edited, you know? So it's interesting to see that whole process. And also just, I work really hard to get the roles that I get. So it's like, I'm going to celebrate it by watching my work. So I have been watching the show, and I just watched the most recent episode last night when it was on. And it's just fun. Like, it's just a fun show.
It is.
It's smart, it's sexy, it's like witty, it's like, they do things and say things and you're like, oh, that's clever. Like, and I just love that.
Yes. And
Yes.
You already teased something about Ida before, but what can you tease about Ida's journey in the upcoming episode? What can we expect from her?
She is she's got her hands in every aspect of the operation, but she is kind of more of a behind the scenes character, you know? And I think that with every organization, whether it's legal or illegal, there's always that kind of person that's like they're kind of on the fringes, but they're very much a part of what's going on here.
Okay. And what's been for you on acting wise? What's been for you the biggest challenge in portraying Ida? The aspect you worked most on or something?
Yeah, I think I think it's just it's easy to fall into the trap when you're playing these characters that are in a few scenes. It's easy to fall into the trap of like, you're right. Okay, I only have like a few scenes. I got to show all my cards. And it's like, well, but people don't really do that in real life, right? You see, like, if you go to lunch with somebody, you're going to see one side of that person. And then if you see that same person at work, you're probably going to see a different side of that person. So, like, just being like secure enough in myself and like knowing that I know the character enough to just, right, in this moment, this is what's happening. And I'm only showing this part of Ida. I'm not going to just try to lay everything else out there because it's not relevant in this particular moment. But sometimes, again, with these, you know, roles that it's like it's just a few scenes, you as actors, you're like, oh, but I want to show the character. And, you know, you have to kind of fight against that trap because that's not doing your job. Your job is to be this person in this moment and carry on the scene, you know, and
Yes,
serve the story. Yes.
absolutely. And talking about the environment on set, how would you describe your experience filming The Company You Keep with both the cast and the crew? And do you have any fun anecdotes to share with us?
Everybody was absolutely incredible, like so welcoming. And like I had heard from a few friends of mine who had worked with Milo before. They're like, oh my God, he's such a class act, like just the greatest, like the nicest, most down to earth. And everything that they said is absolutely true. I mean, this is a guy who has been on multiple series as a lead, as a series regular. He's also executive producing this show. He has a lot of plates in the air, you know, but he was always, you know, thank you so much for coming out. Like, please come shake my hand. And, you know, we were, you know, being transported from base camp to where all the trailers were to the set location because one of the locations was not near base camp. And so we were in this, you know, transpo van, and he always made sure to get out of the van first, open the door, offer a hand, help everybody out. Like just like those little things that really like I think set people apart. Like he thinks about those things. So he's truly just a phenomenal like person, and I'm so just honored that I got to work with him. And like the rest of the cast, Polly, who plays the mom, Polly Draper, she was so sweet. Um, you know, again, Daniel Sunjata, who I played, you know, his right hand girl, super down to earth, like great artist, great human. I actually had the pleasure of working with a colleague of mine from another project. His name is Freddie Bassnight. He plays what's his character's name? He plays Vince in this episode.
Yeah.
And so it's very funny because it was like, oh shoot, we're in the same episode.
It was like a reunion for you two.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. So I mean, the crew was amazing. The director Jiyun, she was great. Like, it was a wonderful experience. It was probably one of the best experiences I've had on set.
That's so beautiful to hear because, as you probably know, that it isn't always the case with filming sets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's incredible that you had such a family environment on the set of your company you keep.
Yeah, and, like, again, because, I was there for 3 days. It could have been
Yeah.
really easy to be like, "Oh, right, okay," but they were also welcoming, and it was really nice.
And now we have a couple of questions that we always ask to the people we're interviewing. And considering we're talking about the company you keep, they're on the company you keep universe.
Mhm.
If you could choose any other character from the show apart from Ida, a character that you would have loved to play if you could, which one would it be and why?
Ooh, Daphne. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, she's so, like, she's gorgeous, and she's smart, and she's, like, all her wheels are always turning, and she's, like, really trying to, like, I mean, well, essentially she's essentially the brains behind the whole McGuire operation right now, and she's trying to just, like, prove herself, but, like, she doesn't even need to because she's such a badass. Like, yeah, she's a fun character. I would totally, but, like, then she also has that, like, funny little, like, OCD-ness about her. Like, remember that part in episode 2 where she, like, adjusted the perfume bottles or whatever it was, and I was like, "Oh, this girl's OCD."
Yeah, absolutely. And now we'd like to know, did you take anything from set to remember your experience as Ida? Any prop or any piece of costume?
I didn't. I just took away the amazing memories
Yeah.
of working with these people on this production. And, like, I mean, a lot of the people that are part of the crew were on This Is Us. And so Milo brought them over, which I also think is just, like, class act. Like, he's such a gem. And so they had all, like, worked together for many years before as well, and they were also welcoming. And so it really was the experience
Yeah.
um, of working on this show that was, like, such a great gift, because it had also been a while. Like, as actors, people don't like to talk about the ebbs and the flows. They just like to do, like, their sort of highlights of, like, oh, look what I'm doing, now look what I'm doing. And but it's like it had been a while since I had booked a TV or film job, because I had been very busy working on a live stage show for, like, on and off for the past year. And so it was, like, right before Christmas when I shot it, and it was just such a gift.
Yeah,
So,
I perfectly understand. And throwing back instead to the origins of your career as an actress, how did the passion for acting come about in your life?
well, I started dancing at a very young age. And so performing just kind of started to be part of my life. And I always did it because it was fun. I never thought, like, oh, I can make a living at this. And so, I did that all throughout my childhood. And I did some, like, school plays and musicals and things like that. But again, nothing like, I wasn't getting headshots done and auditioning for TV and film or anything. It wasn't anything serious. And then went into the Navy, did that thing for 4 years, life-changing experience, in so many ways, both good and challenging. And then I got out and I was going to college, and I'd always wanted to try modeling. But, like, growing up, my parents were like, well, we have to just focus on, like, one activity because we don't have, like, a bunch of extra money for you to do, like, all the things. And I was like, got it. Okay. So I started doing modeling stuff. And then through that journey, I met quite a few filmmakers who were working on their own projects and stuff like that. And one of them, good friend of mine, his name is Sean Williams, he said, hey, I'm doing this short film. Why don't you come out and be in it? I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, oh, wait, I can like do this for like a living. And I was going to school for kinesiology, was not like studying acting in college or anything like that. So then I started taking classes at the Acting Center, which was formerly in Hollywood, but now they're in the Valley, and really starting to learn the craft because, like, I realize there are some actors out there that like they never take a class and they show up on set and they're brilliant. That's great. But for me, like, I saw such a difference, like, because I had shot a few things before I started studying and it was fine. But then I saw a major difference like after I started studying and really knowing like what the heck I was doing, you know, and having a technique and having like a clear path whenever I got an audition or like got a booking. So and then from that point I was just kind of off to the races, and I've had again like my own fair share of ups and downs, just like 95% of the people in this business. But I feel like I'm finally at this precipice where it's like I'm about to level up, you know, and things are about to be more of a continuous trajectory with less ebbing and flowing.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And among all the projects that you had a chance to work on so far in your career, is there any particular one that you're mostly fond of?
Well, besides this, a couple of things stick out to me. One was a movie that I did. It's called Death in Texas. And that was so special to me because my husband, who's also an actor, was the lead in that film. And it was the first time that we had actually acted together, like in a scene.
Yeah.
We had like done like projects together, but like we didn't have scenes together. And so that was fun and really meaningful. And we also had, you know, we were like living in New Mexico for like 6 weeks with our son, who was like 3 at the time. And like, it was great. And so there's that. And then also the live stage show that I've been doing like on and off for the past year. It's called SOS Signs of Strength, and it's with a modern acrobatic movement company called Diavolo. They've been around for like 30 years. Like, just YouTube them. They're incredible.
That's
And
incredible.
it was so phenomenal. I mean, we did shows here in LA, we did shows in Texas. Like it was just, and it was like so challenging. It was like 8 hours a day of rehearsal, and it's like hardcore stuff like that. My dance training, I was thinking, oh, my dance training, like that'll be helpful in this. It was not helpful at all, like, because it's a completely
You have to like reevaluate your dancing
yeah,
skills
it's
and
a completely different type of, and it was an incredibly powerful experience. And, you know, the show is so well received, and so that's probably to date like one of my favorite things, and probably will always be one of my favorite things that I've ever had an opportunity to do. So
great. And our final question, if you had to give some advice to young people who wants to pursue an acting career or a career in entertainment in general, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say keep your vision clear. Don't let anything deter your vision, and take action steps each day that are within your control to get to that vision. Because in this business, there's so many things that are outside of our control. And if you focus on them, then you're just going to get into like a negative headspace, negative energetic space. And what's going to happen is you're just going to start complaining and victimizing yourself. And that doesn't help you move forward at all. So keep your vision clear. Do at least one action step every day that gets you closer to your vision, and you'll be fine. And just don't quit.
Thank you so much, Veronica.
Thank you.
It's been great to have you here and to chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so happy that you're enjoying the show.
Yes, absolutely. And let's remind people that the company you keep episode 4 airs Sunday, March 11th,
March 19th.
19th.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the
Sorry.
12th is the Oscars. So we're
Yeah,
taking a break for a week. And then on the 19th, yep.
March 19th on NBC, and we really
ABC. Yeah.
yeah, and we're really looking forward to see more of Ida and her story and what's next.
Yes. Hopefully there is some things that are next for her. We'll see.
Let's see. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.